This is the reason why I'm telling you, waiting naturally to get citizenship in theory sounds beautiful. Yes, you wait for free, you get your citizenship, you get your profit, you get all the money back. But in practice, is this a big scam? And that is where what's really, really important is to get citizenship right now, not after 20 years. No one knows what's going to happen, what rules are going to change. The uncertainty is crazy and it does not make sense at all for you to waste your time, your family's time, thinking that you're going to get quality options after 20 years. That's BS. But let's talk about the quick options, the crazy quick options. A lot of people watching this, you guys who are watching this, are looking for a citizenship like right now. And once you have this passport, go freaking strike residencies in the places where you actually want to be, right? When shit hits the fan, you should know which place you're going to. So is Portugal Golden Visa the biggest scam in the history of immigration? Let's discuss this. As tragic as this could potentially be, my heart really goes out to all the investors. Now, first, let's discuss what is more important, citizenship or money. What is more important? The money is more important for the government. Citizenship is more important for the investor. But let's talk about money. The government wanted to grab all the money. Of course, any government loves money. They want as much as it comes. Ideally, they want money from outside. FDI is most attractive to a lot of governments around the world. And Portugal obviously is no exception. So, of course, let the money flow in. And let's talk about the marketing of the Portugal Golden Visa. And then let's discuss what are the ramifications. What happens to existing investors? Are they completely dead? Are they killed? Have they lost their investment? Are they completely duped? Legally duped? We're going to jump into all of that. Is it suicidal for the existing investor? We're going to discuss that. First, let's discuss the marketing. What was this marketed as, right? Up until literally yesterday, they marketed this as a golden ticket to the EU passport. Yes, let the Caribbeans sell the visa free access for some time. Let them make some money, and then guess what? Terminate the visa free access so those passports become as useless as some other passports with almost next to no meaningful access. But investors always thought, okay, Caribbean passport, interim access, and then the golden ticket is EU citizenship. I can live anywhere in the EU without any much of physical presence, without much of logical ties to Portugal. I get this golden passport after 5 years, 5 years, and then you have a lifelong access to the EU. So this was the whole marketing and branding. And of course, it's not the fault of marketers or immigration firms. They have been given a program. It is what it is. They're going to market and sugarcoat it and present it as beautifully as possible. To make matters worse, a couple of other things they introduced was, hey, once you upload this application to the portal, your clock to the citizenship starts, and literally next to no physical presence required, and in no time flies, and you get the golden passport, the best passport in the world. So this was the whole marketing pitch point. Now what's happening currently? There are a couple of changes, major explosive changes that they're talking about. There are good chances this could potentially retroactively be applicable to existing investors. So golden visa, the way it works is you invest 500k euros in the program, then you lock it in for a certain amount of time. Now typically this was marketed as 5 years, but practically, for all practical purposes, this was more like a 7 to 7.5 year wait, theoretically. Now people put in their money and then the clock started and then they are waiting. Now how much time does it take to actually get the card, the residency card, the EU permit, the golden visa? It is taking up to 3 years in drastic cases. Currently it can take up to 3 years. Okay, so that is approximately how long it's taking just to get the card. So the relief was, hey, your time to citizenship won't start after 3 years. Your time to citizenship starts the moment you apply, and then you get the card at some point, but your citizenship time is still running. After 5 years, you apply, wait for a couple of years. In 7 years, you can naturalize in Portugal. This was the theory. Now the changes are talking. Let's discuss the changes, right? So the proposed or the potential changes we're looking at is wait period will be changed from 5 years to 10 years. So no longer waiting for five, it would be 10. Good chances we could see a retroactive application of this, meaning all the people who are waiting, are they going to follow the new rule? If that happens, then everything changes for existing investors. The second big change that they're proposing is that the time to citizenship will only start after you get the residency permit. So let's discuss the time frames a little bit, right? So 3 years to get the residency permit, or let's say 6 months to set up the investment, get everything ready, get your documentation, you file, and then let's talk about 3 years roughly to get the golden visa, the permit, and then your 10 years potentially starts after that. So you're talking about 13 years at this point, and then you apply for nationality or your citizenship in Portugal. The citizenship could take up to 3 years, right? 2 to 3 years. So you're talking about 16 years in practice is what is potentially looking like. Okay, the one theory is existing investors or people who are going to start now after the law is passed would be looking at that scenario. But the big question mark is what happens to the existing investors that you sold this golden visa saying that you're going to get this citizenship in 5 years. Your time is going to start when you upload the documents. Are these new rules going to be retroactively applied? Now, that is not yet final. We are still waiting for the final confirmation. In the next couple of months, we would know for sure what has changed, how it's impacting. And if you're subscribed, by the way, to this channel, you're going to be notified of every single change. So make sure you're subscribed. Now, if this happens, let's assume that they retroactively apply and all of this fancy change applies to the existing investors, then what happens? Then I think that'll be a extremely tragic and a bizarre scenario for existing people who have been sweating, right? They've put their money, they have given their money in good faith, they have signed up for a program thinking of certain parameters, they have been envisioning, their dream has been to gain the Portuguese passport, the Portuguese citizenship, and now suddenly you're taking that away from them and asking them to wait for double the amount of time. A lot of these people are between 40 and 50. Now, if you're going to add 10-15 years to that equation, do they really want the citizenship once they become 55 or 60? That's the big question mark. Are people willing to keep their money for that long, or they want to break all the contracts, pay whatever the penalties are, and get back the 500k euros? That is the big question. Now, this is the reason why I'm telling you, waiting naturally to get citizenship in theory sounds beautiful. Yes, you wait for free, you get your citizenship, you get your profit, you get all the money back. But in practice, is this a big scam? To trap your money, to trap you, to waste your time. And in the end, do you really get the benefit? Do you really want the benefit after 15 to 20 years? That is the big question. A lot of this happens with Panama, right? They sell you Panama like bananas, saying that, okay, you get naturalized. But has anyone really naturalized in Panama who has applied? Has that ever happened? So that is the practical question you need to ask. Also, you need to ask this question for a lot of other residencies. One of the biggest waste of time for a lot of people, which they don't realize, is Paraguay. They don't trigger the tax residency. They will never get citizenship because it does not allow dual citizenship with many countries. You pay for this, you get this, and then do what? Shove it in your back pocket and then do what? Are you going to live in Paraguay if shit hits the fan? That's the big question you need to ask. So a lot of these programs are marketed, could be scams, potentially could be scams. Now, I'm not saying the Portugal golden visa was a scam. It would not be right to say that for that government. They will not like it, right? They love the money. They'll collect the money. But when it comes to giving citizenship or calling them scam, let's not do that. They would not appreciate it. They would not like it. They're the government. They are always right. Even if they propose rules and retroactively applied it, that is fine. The government is always right. Now, let's talk about the positive stuff, right? We don't want to fall for negative stuff. And that is where what's really, really important is to get citizenship right now. Not after 20 years. No one knows what's going to happen, what rules are going to change. The uncertainty is crazy and it does not make sense at all for you to waste your time, your family's time, thinking that you're going to get quality options after 20 years. That's BS. That's absolute BS. And while I'm saying all of this is not immigration advice. This is just my personal opinion, right? You should always consult with an attorney for the right strategy. But let's talk about the quick options, the crazy quick options. A lot of people watching this, you guys who are watching this, are looking for a citizenship like right now. In the next 30 days or 60 days or 90 days max. You don't want to be waiting for years because it's your hard earned money. You want to put your money in the right spot so you get a second nationality. Once you have a second nationality, tag important and vital residency so you are protected. It's all about protection. Regarding the visa free access, you're not going to go on a global tour. You don't want to collect numbers which you don't want to make use of. You want to get a residency so you can go and live in that country. So get the residency on the right passport. You will have a second citizenship and you will have a residency in that country. Then you don't have to worry about getting additional passports. Now, what are the options for quick citizenship? There's CBI programs and CBE programs. Citizenship by investment is the known programs that we have. What are the good ones? What are the bang for the buck programs? What are the programs that you should closely look at? Some interesting and good programs that I would closely look at is Vanuatu. Now, with us, we are able to get this in 60 days. I doubt there's anyone else who can get it as fast as us. 60 days and you have this in your hand. They don't collect biometrics currently, so this is a very private and a fast program. The second option is Nauru, which is interesting. Vanuatu is slightly better than Nauru from a monetary standpoint, from an investment standpoint, because you do get back $50,000 with Vanuatu. With Nauru, you don't get that investment money back. Upfront is the same, but eventually Vanuatu tends to be $50,000 cheaper and a better deal between the two programs. Then after that, you have citizenship by exception. What are the countries which offer citizenship by exception? Well, there is this provision to exceptionally naturalize in many countries. The Malta has changed, right? They had a CBI, they're shifting that to CBE, so it becomes less prone to attacks. It can become more easier to issue citizenships using the exception framework if you have the right program targeted, the right people involved, the right contacts involved. All can be done legally because this is legally authorized. Same way you have options in Serbia, right? And you have a couple of other EU nations where this could potentially work out. And the big one, the cheapest one, if you're looking at something less than 100k pounds, then you have exotic options in Africa. There are a couple of good programs. One is an excellent CBE because you're getting ECOWAS, the African, West African nation. So you have lifetime access. And that country also is a CPLP country, which is a Portuguese speaking country. So fast track potential in a place like Brazil, or a direct residency in a place like Portugal, and also a lot of language waiver potential implications in those countries. So you got to look at all of that, right? Again, you got to check that with those immigrations. I'm just giving you some informational content on what CPLP is and its benefits. You should always check with their respective attorneys. Or alternative, you can always click the link, book a call with us, because we directly liaison with officials on this program. The time frame for this beautiful exotic African citizenship, right? This is not a golden visa. You pay the money and you get citizenship right away. And when I say right away, it's literally 30 days. As fast as you provide the documentation, as fast as you want to work on this, you can get it between 3 weeks to 4 weeks. You can become a citizen. So you are protected. You're not waiting for 20 years. You're not being fooled. Getting a citizenship very quickly at the cheapest amount of price. And then once you have this passport, go freaking strike residencies in the places where you actually want to be, right? When shit hits the fan, you should know which place you're going to. You should not be looking at your visa free access. You should have the back pocket, the right back pocket residency, right? It could be Paraguay. I'm not bad mouthing Paraguay. We help a ton of our clients with Paraguay. If you're tagging this with the right passport, then this could be beneficial for a month or two. I don't think under normal circumstances, a lot of you guys watching going to spend more than a month or two in Paraguay, but it could take care of the 10% of your physical presence needs when times are bad, and then you should always switch over to the premium residency, and then you obviously have this second passport sitting in your portfolio. Now before you go, if you want to learn a 5-day permanent residency, yes, I'm talking about a permanent residency, 100% remote process in 5 days. If you're interested in how you could tag this on the African cheapest passport, you can click this link. This video talks about the entire process in a lot of detail, and we get this for you lightning fast. Both options can be combined, and this could be an interesting option to look at. All right, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and catch you in this next one.